Sorry. Stuart Nash. There's a short call.
Mr Chair, you know that the government member is in real trouble when he gets a call to speak for another 5 minutes and he sits down because he's just got nothing to say. There's nothing to say. He's run out of steam, like the government over there. Full flight, then suddenly, and he's down. Well, Jamie Lee Ross, that's what the people of New Zealand are seeing at the moment. And let me just correct you on a couple of points, Mr. Ross. First and foremost, the member talked about the debt. Let me just inform you that the last Labor government got gross debt down from 40% of GDP down to 18% of GDP. And I'm sure the member knows how much the net debt was when the last Labor government left office. Let me inform him, it was down to zero. Net debt at the moment is $56 billion and gross debt is $80 billion. That is 40% of GDP. And when banks go out and talk to households about economic wealth, when you read books about how to grow rich and all this sort of stuff, it says get your debt down. What this government does has blown debt out, and what it's going to take yet again is another Labor government coming in and managing the economy in a way that gets the debt down yet again like we did last time. It's always the way. But the one thing I would like to say is the major difference I see between the National government and a Labor government is National believes if you leave it to the market, they will have the solutions. The government has no role to play. Leave it to the market. And when the government has left it to the market, what have we seen? We have seen since 2007, according to the Reserve Bank, Auckland house prices increased by 60%. By 60%. And in fact, the growth in GDP per capita is below the national average. So if that member believes that this economy, this country is doing well because house prices have just got out of control in one city and wages have been kept down, then his definition of success is completely different to our definition of success, and it's completely different to, I think, the vast majority of New Zealanders' definition of success. We cannot have an economy that relies on booming house prices. In fact, when the Governor of the Reserve Bank spoke to us at the Finance and Expenditure Select Committee, he actually said this is a two-speed economy. It's a two-speed economy. You've got Auckland and you've got the rest of New Zealand. And that is simply not healthy for the rest of this country. And as a provincial MP, I see it. And when I hear a member stand up and talk about our rock star economy, I'm saying the people of Hawke's Bay, for example, the people in Napier who bought tickets to this are not feeling the love. Auckland is doing well, the rest of New Zealand is not doing well, and I'm sure the members on that side know that by what happened in Northland. Winston Peters' message was send the government a message, and it did. And the thing that surprises me, Mr Chair, the thing that really surprises me is they were sent a message, and I was quite interested to see how they reacted to that message. Whether it was going to be, well, goodness me, we have neglected the regions, let's change the rhetoric and let's get out there and let's start empowering those in the provinces. But it hasn't changed. It just hasn't changed because they believe they've got it right. Let the market control the variables and everything will be okay. Well, Labor does not believe that. Labor believes the government has a role to play in driving economic growth. And that is why, Mr Chair, we are going to see, the people of New Zealand are going to see some very innovative policies come out for the 2017 election that is going to make sure that every single New Zealander shares in the economic success of our country, because you can't have an economy that is simply based on Auckland house prices. Mr Chair, the last member also spoke about interest rates in a way that he talked about it in good news. The problem we have got, Mr Chair, and I think it's acknowledged by a lot of people, is we are not that productive in this country. But part of the problem we've got is the cost of capital in New Zealand is significantly higher than a lot of our global competitors. So why our companies, in order to invest in plant and machinery that's going to improve productivity, allow them to take their products to the world, they've got to borrow at 6 or 8 or 9%, where our global competitors can borrow at 1 or 2%. So that is putting us at an immediate disadvantage. We have got to do something about this if we really want to take on the world in a global way and be competitive.
What do you
just employing a whole lot more people might have good good short-term labour market outcomes, but it does not have great long-term productivity outcomes. We have got to get the cost of money down, and you know the easiest way to do it, the Minister in the chair, the Minister sitting beside the chair, said, what do we suggest?
Mr Chair.
The Honourable Paul Goldsmith.
Thank you, Mr.